Everyone tells you to hustle harder, but the most successful entrepreneurs that I know are actually working less. They're not grinding 100-hour weeks. They're not chasing every shiny object. They are not drowning in endless to-do lists. They are doing something completely different that allows them to be hyper-focused and actually achieve their biggest goals without overwhelm. If you feel like you're constantly busy, not making progress, it's simply because you're stuck in a hustle trap. More activity, thinking it's going to make more results, just doesn't always work, and it leads to burnout. And in this video, I'm breaking down 9 specific daily habits that separate the most focused and successful entrepreneurs from everyone else. And by the end of this, you'll have the exact blueprint to get 50% more done, working 15 hours less per week. These are the exact habits I've used to build and run 4 active businesses working just 3 or 4 days per week. And it's the same pattern I've seen in every 7, 8, and 9-figure entrepreneur that I personally have studied. So let's dive right in. What's the first habit of every highly focused entrepreneur that I know? It all starts the second that they wake up. Consistent morning routine. Don't touch your phone for the first hour because it hijacks your whole agenda. Hydrate immediately. Your brain is naturally dehydrated and needs water to function. Move your body for 10 to 15 minutes, a walk, stretching, light exercise. It's all about creating energy, not a full workout. Spend 5 to 10 minutes in silence, meditation, journaling. Set your own mental state before the world sets it for you. Now, I used to be like this, where I would immediately wake up and my arms would sort of stretch along the bed trying to look for my phone. Does that sound familiar, by the way? And I would almost be wanting to know what's going on with Facebook and Instagram and Discord and WhatsApp and all of these other apps as well. And it's hijacking my natural warm-up to the world. Historically, we've never had phones, like I've just said. And it stops you from getting on with your day. You might think you are by checking all of these things, but I remember doing that. And since I'd stopped, my mind has just been so much clearer. And that's what and why we suggest this. You need to cut out the noise in the morning and wake up more naturally. Now, I've only got 15 minutes in the morning, I ask. I would say, well, make time for it, first of all. But if you cannot, honestly, first 5 minutes, make sure you're waking up, and I mean out of bed, not in bed, but wake up and get hydrated. Exercise, journal, meditate, shower, ideally with a cold shower at the end. Personal preference. Worth it. That is what I would do. And also, like, how did it change for me? So what I've gone from is waking up in the morning, having a level of almost anxiety, needing to know what's going on, and allowing my phone to drive me and dictate what I'm going to do that day. And it's transformed me from being a little bit confused, a little bit hazy. But now in the mornings, I'm waking up sharper. And there is also a hidden value in this, in being able to think yourself and have some headspace. The world at the moment is obsessed with being busy and doing things because we don't like to be bored or on our own. But when you meditate, you allow yourself to just cut through the noise and be more focused. So in short, I went from being confused, fluffy, noisy almost in my thoughts, to being sharp, having clarity and understanding what I need to go and do. So once you've won the morning and created that mental space, you can't just jump into random work. You need to know exactly what matters. And that brings us to habit number 2, setting clear daily priorities. Ditch the endless to-do list. It's just such a recipe for overwhelm. Use the 1-3-5 rule. Now, rule 1 is big task. 3 medium tasks, 5 small tasks. That's it. Your number 1 task should be the one thing that, if completed, makes the day the rest of a win. Something big. This isn't about what's urgent, it's about what's important. What actually moves the needle for your business. So you might be asking, how do I identify the top 3 priorities in a day? Now, what's really important, and what we teach in our goal clarity matrix as well, is it's important to have high impact but very clear understanding on how to go and do it. Now, a high impact goal with not a lot of clarity is not really helpful because you're going to spend so much time trying to get clear and trying to understand without actually doing it, which is not time progressing on that task. So that is what I would do is I look at my goals, I rate them by impact, and then I look at clarity. What I've got high impact, high clarity, they go on the list. And then I decide from there which ones to do first. But that's how you get your top 3 priority tasks. Now you might be saying, Danny, listen, I've got so many things that are coming in and trying to disrupt my productivity and all these things I need to reply to immediately. You probably don't. In my businesses, I teach my staff and I tell my staff, unless something's on fire or someone's about to die, it's probably not that urgent. So if this does happen to you, first of all, pre-arm people. So if it's maybe you work from home like I do, I've got a home office here, which I'm recording this in. I'll tell my girlfriend in the nicest way possible, please don't disturb me for the next 2 hours. I'm busy, I've got things to be doing, and just write it down, or we've got a WhatsApp group that we put our important things in. So just pre-arming people. But if they still do come in, be firm and fair with it. You don't need to, if your phone answers, don't answer it. Sorry, if your phone calls, don't answer it. If you see an email, don't read it. Turn it off. Turn it all off, and then you don't even know that it's coming in. So a lot of the work is done before you even get the email or the phone call. Now, a good example for me personally before I started using this is I would be feeling good at the end of the day, lots of ticks on my Asana, and I've got all my jobs done today, but actually I'd just be maybe 5, 10, 20% through what I actually need to do. Some of that comes with procrastination, some of that comes from various bits of how we work. However, once I then got honest with myself, because that's what you're going to have to do today, you're going to have to get honest with yourself. You realize that actually I've completed maybe 20 tasks, but in terms of meaningful tasks, there might have been only 1 in there that weren't critical. And once I switched to this prioritizing and using the 1-3-5, I really got progress. I didn't tick as many things off in my list, but the progress I would make would be 5, 10 times more than what I would do with no goals and no clear understanding of what I needed to do. But having clear priorities is useless if you don't have the time to actually execute on them. And this is where the most successful entrepreneurs separate themselves. They don't find time, they make time, which leads to habit number 3. So time blocking and deep work. Your calendar is your most important tool. If it's not on the calendar, it may as well not exist. Block out 2 to 4 hour chunks for deep work on your number 1 priority and treat these like blocks that are unbreakable appointments with your CEO, yourself. This is how you move from being busy to being productive. Okay, so you set yourself some priorities and you've blocked out the time, but then reality hits. Your phone buzzes, an email pops up, a team member asks a quick question, we've all been there, and all that planning is useless without habit number 4. Minimizing distractions or single tasking. Multitasking is a myth. You just switch tasking. Turn off all notifications, your phone, your desktop, your watch. Be ruthless. Tell anyone that you love that you're busy. Create a distraction-free environment, close unnecessary tabs on your phone, or even put it in another room. The goal is to create an impenetrable bubble so you can focus on your deep work blocks. Okay, so what does a, personal bubble of focus sort of look like, or what does it look like for me? For what it looks like for me, like right now, all of my screens over there that you can't see in my office are all black. There's a website called something like All Black Screen, all black. My phone is in airplane mode, and I cannot be contacted by anyone. My girlfriend is out at work. There is no way that anyone can contact me at all or disrupt me. I am laser focused on recording this very video. Nothing can come and can change my focus. The only thing that could go is the door, and I've unplugged the doorbell too. So I cannot be disturbed. If the door goes, I won't answer it because you have to get serious about your goals and being productive. Now, I'll give you a little trick as well. Whilst on airplane mode, if you are worried about people getting in touch with you and it is an emergency, I believe you can still do this on iPhone. You can set a contact list, so even if they do call, they can still get through. Now, habits 1 to 4 are the core system, but in order to run that system effectively, you need the fuel. You can't be focused if you're mentally and physically drained. And that's why habit number 5 is an absolute non-negotiable too. Regular exercise. This isn't about getting jacked or ripped, it's about energy management. 30 minutes of exercise, even if it's just a brisk walk, 10,000 steps, boosts blood flow to the brain and improves your focus, your memory, and cognitive function. Think of it as like a biological prerequisite for high performance. You don't have a time problem, you probably have an energy problem. Now, obviously, there was a time before I would, listen to my now advice. I wouldn't exercise every morning. And what's really important to understand is I would wake up not feeling like I've really achieved anything in the morning. My morning routine would be completed, but it would not be the one that we've discussed today. And it would leave me almost at a 0 before I even started any work. However, doing the routine, as we mentioned, especially with the exercise, obviously increases all of the chemicals, which you already know about, in the brain, but also allows you to feel like you've achieved something. You've moved towards a goal that you've set out to do. Really, really important. Now, in terms of like a minimum dose for a founder, I would like to say, if you could get out and go and do a walk at least for half an hour every day, ideally an hour, 10,000 steps is awesome, where you go out on that walk, and it is a walk, it's a break, lunch, maybe after lunch, before lunch, however your schedule sees fit. That would tick your box of exercise, but also the mindfulness as well. And I'm not saying go out there on your phone with your earphones in. I'm talking go on a walk and be with yourself and no one else. That has changed the game for me. It allows me, the way it has is, it's allowed me to think about problems a lot more. Allowed my mind to expand rather than being contained into a mobile device whilst I'm on this walk. It's allowed my mind to expand. I almost feel smarter because I'm allowing my brain to go down all of those little pathways and, oh no, that's not the solution to that. And come back and then go back out again. And then I find better solutions generally to problems that I might have faced that morning, and also just allows myself to feel more calm rather than less stressed. It does wonders for that. So physical energy is one half of the equation really, but the other half is mental energy. And this is where habit 6 comes in. Mindfulness and meditation. Your mind is constantly racing with ideas, worries, and to-dos, and meditation is a practicing of noticing those thoughts without getting carried away with them, without attaching to them. Just 5 to 10 minutes a day can dramatically reduce your stress and anxiety, and it's not about stopping your thoughts at all. It's about not letting your thoughts stop you. It's the ultimate tool for mental clarity, to stop you getting attached to those thoughts, being able to just notice them and let them go. So what does an overthinking brain actually feel like? So I've had my fair share of anxiety and overthinking and worry and all of these things. Now, overthinking ultimately is, it feels like you're overwhelmed, like you feel like you're walking through the mud, walking through custard almost with your thoughts. And so the things to look out for really is you feel extremely tired, even though you haven't probably done lots of exercise or lots of strenuous things. The things that you used to enjoy, probably not enjoying as much anymore. And that you're not just overthinking about work, but everything in general. You might even catch yourself doing it. They're the things that you want to look out for, and when it's probably time for a bit of a reset. Bollocks. Sorry about that. Now, I know what some of you guys might be thinking, and that's fine because I was here too. You might think meditation's a bit woo-woo and a bit, all this. It isn't. The use case for it isn't about the being enlightened or becoming a Buddha or, whatever. It's not about this religious element that it's got to it. It's simply about allowing your mind to think about the things that you want to think and focus on. When you do meditation, and please try it. Don't just think this is just some on the internet. I'll let you fill in the blank. It allows you to have total peace, because when you do your first meditation session, you'll realize how crazy your brain is. I'll not be able to keep up with my brain because there's 1,000 thoughts going through it at any time. You've probably already seen the stats on that. When you shut your eyes and try and focus, you'll realize how many things you actually think about a minute or even a second. What's for tea? When's my missus coming home? Is the microphone on for this video? Just had to check that. There are so many things that your brain is subconsciously just running through, and it's taking up bandwidth in your brain. Now, with the whole meditation idea, it's not around, like I said, any of this. It's all around having total focus on whatever you want to think about. Not what's for tea, when's Mrs. coming home, blah, blah, blah. It's all about, okay, I need to solve this problem. I don't know if you've ever seen The Matrix, where Neo goes into the big white room. It's almost like that when you've practiced enough, and it gets rid of all of the noise, and you can just focus. Imagine the thing that you want to focus on, that problem, and focus entirely on it. It's very cool, and it's something that you should not discount. Okay, so you're managing your energy and your mind, but the business landscape is always changing. The problems you face today are going to be different from yesterday, a month ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. To stay ahead, you need to stay constantly upgraded and upgrade your thinking. This is why focused entrepreneurs are obsessed with habit number 7. Continuous learning. You saw that one coming, didn't you? You can't solve today's problems with yesterday's knowledge. The most successful people I know read at least a book a month, if not more. They're not just consuming, they're actively looking for solutions. Schedule 30 minutes of reading into your day like it's a critical meeting, because it is critical. Now, you might be saying to me, Danny, listen, I absolutely hate reading. I can't do it, blah, 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 for all of whatever reasons that you may have. Now, first of all, you can do it if you want to do it. That's always the golden rule. However, if you want to find an easy way to do it, what I like to do sometimes is listen to the audio and also read the book. So having both the visual and the hearing as well really helps with focusing and being able to understand what it's saying. And this sort of ties into another thing of passive versus active reading and understanding. When you cover both sides of our senses, you have a much greater retention and also a much better understanding, because you can hear it and read it too. And the way that I figure out what to read next is usually from suggestions. So I've got a list of books that have been recommended to me by peers, etc. So I would ask around, ask people in business what they, if you said to them, what was your one most impactful book that you've ever read, and ask a bunch of people that, you'll have a full list quite quickly, and then just start going through them. Unless there's a specific thing that you need solving quite quickly, but I would start reading them. Always be reading. A book a week if you can. If it's a big book, once every 2 weeks. Really can't recommend that enough. It's so important to have your continuous learning, as we just discussed, because when you read, you're also giving your brain that time to relax, not think about anything else, and just focus on that one. Now, you can have all the best habits in the world, but if you're running on an empty tank, none of that matters. For years, hustle culture glorified the 4-hour sleep night. It's a lie. The most focused entrepreneurs that I know treat this next habit as sacred. Prioritizing sleep. Sleep is not a luxury. It's a biological necessity for cognitive function, memory consolidation, and emotional regulation. Getting less than 7 hours of sleep is like showing up to work drunk. Your decision-making is simply impaired. The goal isn't to sleep less to work more, it's to sleep more to get more done in less time. Now, I'm going to be really honest with you. I just said that being sleep deprived is like going to work drunk and you make bad decisions. Honestly, I made a really poor decision, and it was with a client, I don't even know how many years ago. And I replied to an email when I was so tired and so grumpy, and I totally misread the email. The email itself, I thought, came across quite bad, quite a negative attitude. I just basically saw something that wasn't there, and I made such a bad mistake. I replied matching that energy, and it then turned into a phone call whilst I was very tired, and also then an argument before I realized that actually the tone wasn't there. You know, it wasn't like it was an angry email. He was being very direct, but it wasn't angry at all. And because of that, I ended up causing my own friction, my own argument, and I ended up having to apologize and explain that I'd only had like 3 hours sleep because I was working on, I think it was probably a proposal or a strategic campaign. Now, finally, focus isn't about being a machine. It's not about grinding 8 hours straight. Your brain doesn't work that way. The most productive people know that the secret to sustained focus isn't intensity, it's consistency. And that's why it's only possible with habit number 9. Habit number 9, so taking breaks to recharge. Your brain works in cycles of focus and unfocus. Ultradian rhythms, they're called. Work intensely for 90 minutes and then take a 15 to 20 minute break. A real break means completely disconnecting, walk away from your desk, get some sunlight, don't switch to just checking social media. These breaks aren't a reward, they're part of the work, and they are what allow you to come back sharp and maintain high performance all day. Okay, so a strategic break. What does it actually look like to me? I'm not going in one of those tanks, I can't remember the name of them, laying in the salt water and totally switched off from life. But for me, a walk really is my total disconnect, with my phone either turned off or in airplane mode and not checking it at all. Having zero distractions. So some sort of light exercise is good. My other, I would probably say, is Muay Thai. I do Muay Thai 3 times a week. That is my total disconnect. I'm not thinking about anything else. A cool tip, and something that can give you an instant disconnect, although it might not feel like it, is a cold plunge or an ice cold shower. Because I guarantee you that within that minute or 2 minutes, 3 minutes, however long that you can do to start, I promise you're not thinking about anything else other than, oh my goodness, it's cold. And if you can pair that up with meditation, which again is another strategic break, I would say, you can stay in that mode and in that zone of focus much easier as well. Okay, so there you have it. 9 daily habits that separate the most focused entrepreneurs from the rest. It's not about hustle, it's about having a system for your focus. We've covered morning routine, setting clear priorities, time blocking, minimizing distractions, exercise, mindfulness, continuous learning, sleep, and strategic breaks. Now, knowing this is half the battle, and the other half of the battle is implementation, which is key. And the most important step is taking action. So I have a question for you. Which of these 9 habits are you going to implement this week? Drop your answer in the comments down below. I'm going to read and reply to as many as I can. And if you got value from this video and want to be part of our community of focused entrepreneurs, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're building something super, super special here. Thank you so much for watching, and go get focused.